on, babies.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another astounding episode of the Simple Mind Sports Show. We're all fathers here, raised a little ahead of the game, but Bobby and I have young children. Everyone's heard of the Three Bears and Goldilocks. And let me tell you right now, this won't be the first time we've referenced a child's book on this program. Certainly will not be the last. But the New England Patriots have a Goldilocks Syndrome problem right now. And it could turn from bad to worse very quickly if they don't snap out of it. And mostly I'm talking about being fucking cheap, okay? So I want to get into that tonight. I want to tell you exactly what that Goldilocks Syndrome is for the New England Patriots. We will certainly do that. We'll talk about everything we're going to talk about tonight. But as we always do, let's start with little opening takes. Raymond, why don't you kick us off tonight?
Thank you there, Richard. For free agency that starts next week, I want to come out of free agency knowing that you can trade back confidently from the number 4 overall pick, meaning I want the Patriots to be the highest spender and get huge needs. Offensive tackle Ronnie Staley, and defensive tackle Milton Williams. If you secure those two players, a lot less stress will come, and you can hit a home run with your number 4 overall pick. You can trade back and do lots of things with that.
Playing a little coach GM, are we?
Trying.
It's
actually toilet GM.
Yeah, that's what we do here. Toilet GM. I'm sure eventually they'll call, right? I'm sure they've just been biding their time on that phone call to you. Yeah. Look, Elliot Will's surely going to fuck this whole thing up, so they will be looking for help shortly. Bobby, your opening take.
The deals are already being made. We've seen the news come through with trades. There are all pros being traded. There are moves to be made for the Patriots out there. We'll see if they do it. But one thing that is for certain, they need to address every need in free agency to go in with a viable team, because this is not the draft where you can reach for a need. The Patriots that they have for a need, they need to be able just to go in and, somewhat like Raymond said, just draft the best player. They can't go in knowing they're going to that we need this or that, because it'll end up being a bust. They need to address it first.
Did you just steal my take?
That right there, folks, is called a stolen take. However, a professional does that by pivoting off using different words. But that was
come on, that was word for word.
The same exact take. We'll review it and see if Bobby's under suspension moving forward.
I feel like that was a better idea than his was.
It was certainly said more eloquently.
Yeah, well, obviously anything's more said than
the floor is very low for that, and you don't get credit for being more eloquent than Ray. That's
no.
But basically, you guys said the exact same thing. Let me switch gears. The Boston Bruins, speaking of making moves, they finally made one of somewhat significance. Not really. They moved on from Trent Frederick. What many are hoping and maybe anticipating, the first of many moves. Will they be daring enough, brave enough, good enough at their job to move on from one of the big 3, 4, call it even 6? We'll work down the roster of the Bruins, play a little top 5, if you will, on who the Bruins should be moving, who we'd like them to move based on kind of who we don't like and what they could get for them. But it's time. Everyone recognizes it. I think the organization recognizes it. It's time for the Bruins to pivot really quickly. They'll never go in the tank, but it looks like they're about to make a move into retooling, at least a heavy retooling, not like we've seen for the last decade plus on the fringes. They've got to make a bigger move here. So we'll talk about the names that they could do that with. And that's what we'll talk about tonight. We'll start with some Pat scraps. What's going on with the Patriots, the draft, the latest news with them. Not the best news from your defensive front, boys. I don't know if you saw that. Please keep Superfan Patrick out of the fucking opening, okay? Because this is our time. This is our safe space, all right? Love you, Patrick. Mean it.
But shut the fuck up, Patrick.
Shut up for a second, okay? Just shut up for 1 second. Okay, we got to laugh at him. That's good. We're going to do 10 questions with a guy named Rob, all about the Patriots free agency. So big Patriots heavy here at the start of the show. We'll do a little Bruins rebuild question, a mystery, Dr. Big Bang, Big Max, Big Brain. And the Simplest Minds of the Week, as always, welcome to the Simple Mind Sports Show. Friday Rewind. The Queen abides. I made you guys do this again on Wednesday. Thank you for that. March 5th. Welcome to the show. Apparently, the Celtics are dumb front-running pussies. This is the same team they have been for 4 years running.
Well, my worst nightmare came true. Missoula and Mayo are friends. What the fuck? Apparently they've known each other since Virginia. They have these docking sessions where they talk about ball and managing people.
I'm on vacation. reaction. I'm gonna quay all these. I'm gonna fucking watch them this week.
Do you say quay?
Is it not quay?
It's Q. It's Q. It's QUE. You idiot.
Welcome, and if you're watching on YouTube, you're welcome. Dashing as always. Bobby's got a new room. Ray, if you're listening on your favorite podcast platform, please rate, subscribe, review. Tell your friends. As always, tell your mothers. We're living in a world of algorithms, folks. So if you are tuning in, if you do listen from time to time, please just slap the subscribe or the like or throw a little comment there. Tell us to fuck off. It doesn't matter. The words don't matter. It's just the contributions. Superfan Patrick single-handedly brings us to the number one New England sports podcast on iHeartRadio with his 450 comments a night. That's just telling us to fuck off. You can do that too. I know you can. Go to the comments in Spotify or whatever the hell you're listening to. Tell us to F off, please. And if you don't do that, at least tell your mothers. Please go to simplemindsports.com. Join the newsletter. That's an easy one, too. Every Friday, we'll send this to you. You don't even have to search it. You just click it, listen, laugh, ignore us. Doesn't matter. Again, just click it. It's all about the clicks in today's world. Speaking of the clicks, beautiful segue, Rich. Patriots Goldilocks Syndrome is real, and it has to do with the wide receivers, which if you move away from the line of scrimmage, we all know is probably we know it's the number one need for the Patriots. It's been the number one need for the Patriots since, I don't know, Randy Moss, Deion Branch, whatever you would call it. They have not had a feeder system for wide receivers in this franchise probably ever. I mean, if you really think about it. And now you've got a top three pick in Drake May, what many are calling a franchise quarterback. He's projected as a potential top 5 guy in the NFL by a lot of folks. I don't know if I'd go there.
Who's saying this?
Oh yeah, I've read many things projecting him as a top 5 quarterback in the NFL. He's won one game and statistically is a bottom 3 quarterback in the NFL. We're not doing that today. We've done that a lot on this show. Bash Drake May.
Not today.
What we're doing is saying they need to give him some options and some help on the receiving core, not named Demario Douglas or Kendrick Bourne. And so far in this offseason, Bobby, what they've done is said, Deebo Samuel for a 5th. No, thank you. He's too fat and spicy. We don't want him in New England. T. Higgins, too expensive. Even with that non-committal franchise tag, that's really not going to cost 2 first-round picks. No. We said we were in on him, but we'd rather do the offensive-defensive line thing. Chris Godwin, too hurt. Cooper Kupp, too old. DK Metcalf, too dumb. Christian Kirk just got cut, but he's too sucky. Davante Adams, he hates Josh McDaniels. Reportedly, they called A.J. Brown. They called the Philadelphia Eagles about A.J. Brown. They kindly, if they could just transfer what they said to the Patriots to our algorithm, we'd be in good shape because they told them to fuck off.
Yep.
And Chris Olave is the next name to get disappointed about Patriots fans because they're not in on him either.
Brain's too scrambled. That won't
So
work.
no one's quite perfect enough for Josh McDaniels' systems in the Patriots pocketbook is really what it comes down to. What are your thoughts here on the reports that seems like we've got backpedaling and just lined up excuses for the Patriots not making a big move at the wide receiver position like they said they would for the last, again, whatever many years you want to pin it back to.
Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just a failure to act. We've, as we stated before, that there are deals happening, and these teams with a plan are going to go ahead and execute what they're doing. The Patriots have shown that they just kind of sit and wait for things to just kind of fall in their lap. So what they're going to say is they're going to sit there and wait to see all the players that get cut here right before free agency, to see everybody that's available, and then they're just going to wait to see who wants to sign with them. They're not going to make aggressive moves, and anything that they do actually inquire about will be a swing over the fence that they're not going to get. So they just I don't think that they have targets. That's what's bothersome. We'll see. I'm sure they're going to throw a bunch of money at Ronnie Stanley because I think it's clear that he wants to hit the market and wants to get the big offer. I think they actually have a pretty decent shot at getting him, or else he would have already re-signed.
Let's lay off. Let's just stick with the wide receivers for now because I think you have a point with maybe not Stanley individually, but the lines. Ray, where's your level of, let's call it, concern or aggravation for the fact that Mike Vrabel, who was the prince who was promised, brought in here, and it seems like it's Tricky Dicky all over again. Elliot Wolf, that slimy fuck. Everything I read and watch from Elliot Wolf, he is just another slimy corporate stooge. The last thing I read or heard today was the quote was something, and I don't have it in front of me. I should have brought it to the show, but when asked about last year, what he said was he wished that there was more preparation going into free agency, which should have been his job. Yeah. But he was, that's a subtle shot at all the people that were in charge of scouting and doing it. So when he made the final decision, he didn't have enough information in front of him.
No. What happened last year was Robert Kraft said it was all Bill's fault. Let's resign all the guys and watch them shine as Gerard Mayo takes over this team in this organization, and we're going to win all these games. But yet they just had the same bag of shit, and they still only won 4 games. I see this happening again this year with Jacoby Myers. That's the name that keeps popping up. He's the name that you keep seeing. And he's like, Jacoby Myers is going to come here. Phil Perry wrote about a reunion could happen last season. 87 receptions, 1,027 yards, and 4 touchdowns. He's not a number one guy, but he's one of those familiar guys. You bring him in, maybe he makes the fans happy. I won't be happy, but that's what they keep doing. They keep recycling these old Patriots guys coming in, and it's not working. You got to go out and get a stud. You got to get a true number one, and until that happens, like Elliott Wolf,
they're not going to get that guy this year. I wouldn't even focus on that. That's not happening this year from the receiver perspective. This year has to be about meat and potatoes. Just fill everything else out.
Look, the more salient point, I think, what I'm trying to get out of this is not a Mike Vrabel thing. Okay, Superfan Patrick, let's give a little shine. Until I ask for it, Ray, enough.
It's a good one, though. It's a good one.
Elliott Wolf is a piece of shit. He needs to be gone. The Crafts are clutching the purse still. Not surprising, no receiver moves will be made in this free agency. Look, you're all missing the point. The Crafts are about to spend a ton of fucking money. Okay, they are about to blow you out of the water with the money that they spend. It's going to happen. It has to happen per the CBA. They do it every 3 years. We've been saying this on the show for a long time. They're gonna spend money. The problem with this whole wide receiver thing, and Deebo being fat, Higgins being expensive, Godwin being hurt, Metcalf can't run routes, blah 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 blah, is they are playing the PR game while also still playing the value game. And what we were sold is Mike Vrabel is a different can of worms than Bill Belichick and the regime before. When it really all comes back to Robert Kraft and Jonathan Kraft and the Kraft's philosophy of value over talent, they will always do value over talent. Okay, that's what the wide receiver market, and that's what the wide receiver approach now is telling us about the New England Patriots. The caveat I'll give you is the lines for 2 reasons. Let's see if Mike Vrabel has an actual impact. Number 2, generally, unless we're talking a franchise left tackle, they're just not as expensive as wide receivers. You're not dumping $35 million into a T. Higgins for a guy to play right tackle or left guard, or So we saw him do it in 2021. What were their biggest signings in 2021? Jonnu Smith and Hunter Henry, tight ends, which statistically are the 4th lowest paying position in football. So they went to the top of market with them, but in real cash, you're still $20 million less than what the top wide receiver makes. You understand? Am I making sense?
Yeah.
They're still playing within the Crafts rule of financial values. And what that means is you're not going to land one of these top-end wide receivers, either in trade or in free agency. You're going to land a Darius Slay or Jacoby Myers, which, by the way, Ray, I would love Jacoby Myers back in this team. He would be great.
Fine with it.
He would be.
Yeah, it's just not a
flashy. Blow out Kendrick Bourne and play Jacoby Myers.
But it's just not one of those flashy pickups is what I'm saying, Like you'd want a Davante Adams or one of the T. Higgins. Everyone has their sights set on this superstar wide receiver. You're just getting an old recycled guy back. Yeah, he's great. He doesn't drop the ball, but it's not anything like.
They need some dependability at wide receiver. They've had people that literally cannot be in the place they're supposed to be.
Jacoby Myers would bring that to you, but Bobby had it right when he said that. What I would like to see, and I wrote this on SimplesMindSports.com, go do in the newsletter, nut up Elliott Wolf, identify a guy about not what he's about right now, not about DK Metcalf right now and whatever system he's running right now and whatever routes you see him run right now. Identify him in your own system and project him forward and go get him. If Randy Moss was evaluated for what he was in Oakland, you wouldn't have got him for a 4th-round pick in 2006 to go set the NFL record for touchdowns in 2007. Obviously, Bill Belichick had an innate ability at the top of his game to bring depressed assets and project them to what they could be with him and elevate their game. That's what coaching and GM work is about. It's not about looking about what you did and then basing it on that. That's stupid. Anybody can do that. Be better than that. That's what we should expect. I have no faith Elliott Wolf can do it. Can Vrabel and his crew? Maybe. Yeah. The more we hear out of that is Elliott Wolf is still a mouthpiece, but it seems like we've got a non-hostile takeover with Mike Vrabel and his crew. I think they're taking the reins.
Put him in a locker. They're just putting him in a locker and say, "Hey, nerd, shut the fuck up. We got it from here."
Yeah,
I don't remember much from last week, but I do remember shitting on Elliott Wolf for crying during his press conference.
Yeah, he did. He legitimately cried. Yeah, he did.
He was trembling.
Yeah.
Not enough has been made of that, quite frankly. He looks like a huge pussy.
I haven't heard anybody talk about it. He was trembling.
Yeah.
Vrabel was sitting over there with a bat, just like hitting it in the palm of his hand.
He made a bunch of dumb comments. He also made a bunch of comments about how it was great to see how Mike Vrabel has grown and developed as like a leader. Like, here's Elliott Wolf, who's literally done nothing, talking about someone that has actual produced results in the NFL. I can't stand him.
Yeah, he's a pompous corporate squid. I'd like to see him gone. Let me just touch on a couple more things here. We'll do the big free agency stuff with 10 questions guy named Rob. Greg Bedard pointed this out. Look, every 3 years in the NFL, you have to hit a minimum of cash spent on your roster. The Patriots need to spend $290 million in the next 2 years to hit that minimum. Okay, Patrick? They're going to spend money because they have to spend money. I'm not saying that they're going to go out. I just told you they're not moving outside of their value system. They're just forced to do that. And go back and look at the history of the Crafts. They do this every 3 or so years. They cash spend to the minimum, sometimes over, but not mostly. And then they level out. And that's what you see. So they're going to do it. They have to. They have to spend $290 million. The number was like if they spend 105%, they could spend up to $305 million in the next 2 years. So
damn.
Bedard expects them to spend about $190 million of it this year, which means big ass names. You've named a couple, Ray and Bobby. Ronnie Staley, probably the biggest name as a left tackle. Milton Williams, the biggest name as a defensive tackle from the Eagles.
Be wary of him.
Say more.
I wouldn't be necessarily sold on him. He was a rotational player on the Eagles who had the two best defensive tackles in the league. And he was someone that, so every time he's in there, Jalen Carter or Jordan Davis is getting double teamed and he's singled on a guard. When he plays on the Patriots, he's going to get double teamed. I'm not going to give him big money.
Bobby,
I would let somebody else pay him. You could get somebody else that's going to end up doing the exact thing he's going to do for the Patriots for a fraction of the cost. There are other players I would sign.
Two things, Bobby. One, cool. Second thing, our team blows, and anything would be fucking a tremendous help for this team.
Don't get defensive because he shit on your guy, Ray. They're also linked to Harold Landry from the Titans, kind of a Vrabel guy like that, and Patrick McCarry as an offensive guard from the Ravens as well out there. Just real quickly, the last point here I'll make on the news from the Patriots is, unless anybody has anything else to say on that. Good, thanks. Concerns, latest out of Patriots camp about Christian Barmore, not good. The blood clots are back. They reportedly rushed him, supposedly rushed him back last year when they found out losing every game and getting embarrassed was not in the game plan of a 3-year rebuild. So they had to put Drake May in when they said they weren't going to, and they had to play Christian Barmore when they said they weren't going to, and potentially fucked up his recovery. And now I've read and heard reports that he may never play a down again. So there you go.
T's and P's.
So if you go sign your boy Milton Williams, you can't rely on Christian Barmore for that double team. Not necessarily.
That would be devastating if he can't play anymore.
Yeah, that's one more massive hole to fill. I don't know if we talked about it.
So many mother jokes that I could just.
I don't know if we talked. I mean, it's too easy.
It was, but
we're talking free agency. There's going to be a lot of holes to fill. Did we? Again, I don't remember last week. Did we talk about Devin Godchaux and the trade? Okay,
we did.
So they're cleaning house.
He might get a 6th rounder or something like that. I mean, he's not going to get a lot. He's not a lot of value.
Well, we're going to talk. I think we're going to talk about that in 10 questions. Let's shift gears here to the draft. stop me if we talked about this last week too. I don't know if it's news this week or last week. The Patriots love Travis Hunter. Does that scare
That's
you,
new.
or do you like that, or is that good or bad? Well, let me combine this with Field Yates came out with a report and a couple other guys that he believes the top quarterbacks, probably the two top quarterbacks, will be taken in the first 3 picks of the draft, which means very likely Travis Hunter could be there for you at number 4, or potentially another high-end player that's not Cam Ward or Shadon Sanders. Is that how you say his name?
Shador.
That's pretty close. The first time I tried, I didn't even try.
Apparently, I don't know if you heard the reports about that kid, but all of the NFL GMs are coming out saying he's a cocky, arrogant cunt.
Okay, well, we can talk about that if you want. My question
No, I'm just
is,
saying. I just thought it was funny.
if Travis Hunter gets to 4 and the Patriots, do you believe the Patriots support? Because I never believe anything out of this.
I believe
shit.
it.
Go ahead.
I believe it for 2 reasons. I believe, one, we have a head coach that historically played both sides of the ball, be it small on offense. So I believe that he probably has a little understanding and belief that Travis Hunter can do this in some way, shape, or form. Also, just he is one of the 2 consensus best players, so the Patriots would be interested. I believe he is the only actual true avenue that the Patriots could have to get a legitimate number 1 receiver if they drafted him at 4 and play him at wide receiver. I think that that's the only way that they legitimately could do it coming out of this year, because he is that good of an athlete. And it is, if he's at 4 and they draft him, he could be that guy.
I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't like anybody that's from that Colorado team. I think he's a bit guy. If he had just been a wide receiver, just been a cornerback, he would not be a top 10 guy. The value is in that 2-way, which he's not really going to be able to do in the NFL. If he does, kudos to him, but I'm not taking him at 4 because of that value. It's an inflated value because of the 2-way thing that he did in college. And all this projection of him that, well, if he gets to spend all of his time focusing on wide receiver, think about the guy he could be. I don't believe in that. He's undersized. I don't like him. Okay. He won on athleticism in a conference that they barely played anybody. I'm out on Travis Hunter. And I don't think the Patriots in on him either, because I don't believe a goddamn thing that comes out of the combine about the draft from these teams, especially ones with high picks, that want to draft linemen. Anybody who likes Travis Hunter from picks 5 to 32, hopefully heard that. And when he's sitting there at 4, the Patriots are on the phone. Where can we get to where we can still get whatever lineman we want to get? That's what I think. I think that's the game they were playing. If they like Travis Hunter, then again, we're in fucking trouble.
It's just a terrible draft. Even if you move back or whatever, it's like a terrible fucking draft. So I think whatever you do,
perfect draft. What the Patriots need to do.
Yeah.
Line. Get me some fatties. Other than this Will Campbell guy, tiny arms, T-Rex out there. You can't take him at 4, but do you? He doesn't project as a tackle. But
fun fact for you, real quick, before you go. He has 32 and 3/4 inch arms or whatever. No offensive tackle has ever made the Pro Bowl with 33-inch arms or smaller. So therefore, this guy is going to be a bust. You can't take him at 4. I don't like him. He has T-Rex arms. He's a little fucking short guy. Bust.
Another fun fact: your mother's
He's
record
not
for the
short.
night was,
No.
44 inches. Actually, it was just a couple of guys. Darkness. Armin Membu climbing the board of the right tackle. Here's what I think. I've looked at some mock drafts just to see where the offensive linemen are going. You got a run of offensive linemen late in the first round, early in the second round. So there's a lot of talk about the Patriots going O-line, D-line, and just stacking as much talent as possible on those lines. I'd be okay with it. And if that means trading back at a 4, and somewhat reaching on a guy like Campbell or whoever else, I'm kind of for it, because like you guys said, the draft sucks. It doesn't seem like there's, unless Abdul Carter falls to you at 4, who's the big guy that you can?
Well, I don't believe that's happening. Yeah,
no. So not terribly exciting. Trading back and taking a tackle or a guard.
Sounds like the Giants are going to trade up with Tennessee too. They want Cam Ward real bad, so they're going to trade and flip flop, and Carter's still going to be there at 3 for him, and they're going to take him. So I don't think Carter's going to be there. Yeah.
They're a bunch of idiots, so they might do that.
The only way that's the only way Hunter falls to us, I think, though.
Yeah, the quarterbacks have to go in the.
I mean, Shador.
If they don't, and the Patriots just draft at 4, and they take the kid from Michigan,
Mason Graham, the skinny kid from the skinny defensive tackle.
He's 300 pounds. So like,
I don't think that the Patriots are going to draft him. I don't think that they're going to do that.
That's the two people, though.
I would not
Campbell
be.
and
I
Mason
would
Graham.
be surprised if they did. I think they're going interior with their first pick, whether it be at 4 or 6 or 10 or if they trade back. They're going interior. I think we'll see. Until then, let's throw it over to headlines with the office.